Hello, hello. I see we've got some people in already. Nice to see you guys. Thank you so much for joining. Hi, Megan. You look so nice. Hi, Hannah. Hi, Nikki. Hi, Ashioma. Ashioma. Hope I said that right. Okay, guys, we're just going to give it a couple of minutes just to see if there is anyone else out and about in the land of wherever who wants to join the land of the internet. That would be cool. Hi, Susie. Yep, so we've got a presentation today. It's been ages since I've done something like this. Usually I keep it sort of quite informal, quite chatty. Hi, Susie. Hi, Tanya. But I wanted to do a full-on presentation because I've just done this 12-part video series for One Sourcing Initiate, which I've honestly wanted to put that together for ages, and it's just one of those things I've been procrastinating on a little bit. Yes, I do that too. And I decided just to go for it and put it together, and I thought it was going to be really helpful. And the reason I did it is because this last couple of months, I've had a lot of people come to me specifically asking about one sourcing, which was really rare. Usually I'm sort of, getting inquiries and things like that. And then I'm telling people about one sourcing, but suddenly, all of a sudden, I don't know what's been going on, but people are coming to me and saying, I'm interested in one sourcing or finding a one sourcer and things like that. So for me, that was like, excellent. So I decided, a lot of people sort of had a lot of questions and were thinking like, what's different about the business model, compared to other things, or just hiring a virtual assistant. So I was just kind of going through the motions, and I decided to put something that not just was speaking to VAs and VAs could use, but I wanted to put something that clients could actually look at and see how one sourcing sort of relates to them as well. So I did that, and it's been really well received, and I've been super pleased with everything. So if you didn't watch all the 12 parts, I mean, I can put the link. I'll do that now. I'll put the link inside the chat area if you guys want to go and catch up. It's 12 videos. They're really short videos. I didn't want it to be like a big long thing that people had to, sit and troll through. I wanted it to be really quick for people to be able to access the videos, watch the videos. So I did it on the blog basically, and I uploaded the videos to YouTube. So if you're subscribed to my YouTube channel, you've probably seen them on there. If you're subscribed to the mailing list, you've probably been getting the emails, etc., etc. So if you are ever wanting to explain now about one sourcing, I feel like I'm all resourced out almost because, like we've got the kits now. So we've got the two kits, the one for virtual assistants and the one for, that's a cute doggy. Susie. Yeah. So we've got the two kits. We've got the one for clients, specifically designed for clients. We've got the one for virtual assistants. We've also got the brand license kit inside One Sourcing with all the different bits and pieces in there, which are designed for clients. So I feel like I've covered a lot. And then this 12-part series was the final thing. I thought to myself, if somebody doesn't get it after this, then, no hope really. So I'm really good. So I'm going to do this presentation now on, it's like something new. It's kind of like a little strategy that I started giving people in my coaching sessions, because there are certain issues that people face. And it's really interesting when you're starting a VA business, the different things that can crop up, and how like the problem or the issue isn't always necessarily got the same cause. So I wanted to talk today about something that I've been doing, like a little thing or technique that I've been doing with some of my coaching people who are coming up with these sort of challenges and issues and facing these roadblocks and things like that. And, the most important thing is like you can try and figure out what's causing it to be able to work through it. So we're going to do a little exercise. I am going to have an opportunity to work with me at the end. So just full disclosure on that, but also we're going to do a Q&A at the end. And if anybody wants to jump in on anything that we've been talking about throughout this session, then feel free. It's an open Q&A at the end. Megan says that the material is very awesome for the training program. Thank you so much. That's really cool. Okay, so I intended to do a presentation, and I've got a funny feeling that when I open the presentation, my Zoom is going to disappear. So hopefully you guys will be able to still see it after I do that. But let's just risk it for a biscuit. Welcome, Alison. We've had a few other people join, so thank you so much. Okay, going into sharing my screen now, and then hopefully you won't all completely disappear. I'm going to have to go into present mode, so hopefully when I do this as well, you will still be able to see it. So can everyone see it? Give me a nod if you can. Awesome. Okay. So I don't know why that's gone like that, but so this is the sort of follow on to One Sourcing Initiate. Basically, what I want to talk to you about in this presentation is how to troubleshoot the crap in your virtual assistant business using ICE, which is a little technique that I've been sort of sharing with people. It's been well received, and I wanted to share it with you today to give you something tangible to work with and move through. So troubleshoot the crap. Couldn't think of another word for it really, because that's what it is. Okay, so for those of you who don't know me, sorry if you do, but if you don't, I've got sort of a very interesting background in the world of virtual assistants. So I've had a pretty colorful life, and these are the things that I'm bringing to the table based on that life and that background and the last sort of 16 years of doing this. But first of all, many have told me that there's something I would say special about me, or a way of sharing or thinking or caring that's changed their lives. And people often say like, oh, what's your secret? What do you do? But really, it's just the experience. It's just the extensive experience in a lot of different areas, with the travel aspect, with parenting, with business, that type of thing. It just gives you a very sort of unique perspective, I think. I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm a pretty legit business owner. I started my online company with no funds and no knowledge, from a dial-up connection in 2005, back when there was no broadband or anything like that. And basically I grew the company to multi-six figures, and I facilitated several 100K launches in my business and for clients. And I've also created an entire business model for the outsourcing industry, which I'm sure you're all aware is called One Sourcing at this point. I'm also a mother. I have 4 amazing kids, from small baby, my youngest is 6 months right now, up until teenagers. My eldest just turned 14. And each one of my children was born in a different country. So I've mainstream schooled, I've homeschooled, and I've dealt with all the normal parenting challenges and managed to survive and build a business around them as well. Also, because of the one-on-one calls that I do in my coaching programs, these types of calls, I develop real relationships with people, and I like to think that the people that do come and work with me feel like I actually care about them, because I do. And I'm not sort of like one to the masses kind of person. I'm a digital nomad. So I started my business in 2005, and I did it after booking a one-way ticket out of the UK. I've lived in 7 countries, actually lived in 7 countries, traveled to many more, and I've run and operated my virtual assistant business out of all of them. And I've dealt with living and logistics and languages and really everything in between when it comes to living abroad. I'm also quite spiritual. So some people call me a little bit woo-woo, but I do believe we're all spiritual beings in physical bodies. So I like to often do work from, maybe a soul level. I use a lot of intuition, connection, and I think that there is something bigger and something outside ourselves that we can all tap into to start releasing our true potential within. I'm all about lifestyle. So when I teach anything, when I coach people, it's all about the lifestyle first and having a business that fits in around that. It's never the other way around for me. A lot of people have the mindset that I'll build the business and then I'll have fun, but I prefer to do it the other way around and start thinking about, okay, well, what do you want out of your life? What do you know, what makes you happy? And then try to build the business around those things. And really, you know, it's like having a purpose in life. It's having a reason to get out of bed in the morning. And I have a lot of peace and gratitude in my life for the kind of life I've developed from virtual assistants. And I like other people to have the same too. And also it's about community. So I've got my paid membership area, which is Luxuriate. That's a growing community. I love to support people. I love to help people. So whether you're in a paid program or you're just here for the free stuff, I fully support you either way. So that's me. So I'm going to be frank that being a virtual assistant isn't all rainbows and unicorns. It certainly hasn't been for me. I certainly feel like I've learned the hard way a lot of the time, particularly when working with clients. And also going through the motions of really understanding what it takes to run a successful business online as a virtual assistant. There's so many stumbling blocks and so many things along the way that can really drag you down or pull you down or make you feel like you want to give up. And some of those things that you can control and some of the things you can't control, but there are ways to handle and deal with them. And the technique that I'm going to be sharing in this presentation is really about looking at yourself and thinking to yourself, like, what is the reason behind what's happened in my business? And this is what I wanted to get you thinking about today. So yeah, it's not all rainbows and unicorns. I think if anyone is out there saying, oh, it's so easy to run a virtual assistant business and just, you know, set this up and get some clients and sell some services, there's just so much more to it. I was able to build, you know, an entire business model around just offering virtual assistants, which is incredible. But so many things come up along the way. You need some guidance and you need some help. But it's not all rainbows and unicorns, but that's only me, because like me, as I was going through that learning curve, a lot of virtual assistants haven't discovered ICE to troubleshoot their issues and fix them. So let's do this. I'm going to introduce you to ICE. So we're going to break down the ice. I couldn't help the pun. We're going to break the ice. That's what we're going to do, but we're going to break down what ICE is instead. So the first is I, it's to identify. So the I is to identify, and first we need to identify what's wrong. Have you or anyone you know had these issues and couldn't seem to break through or shake them off? So we're going to go through these 7 issues and look at them in a little bit more detail. These are probably the 7 most common issues in a VA business that I've come across over the years, but they're certainly not, you know, the end of all the issues. These are just some of them, 7 of them. So the first one is that your business isn't where you need it to be financially. This is probably the most common problem because people haven't learned how to build profitable business yet. I will say that. You're mentally exhausted from trying to develop your business, the constant grind. It's like feeling like you're on a treadmill and you're running faster and faster, you're not getting anywhere. Number 3, your clients are basically treating you a bit like crap or undermining you, or just basically treating you like you're on another level to them. Number 4 is your team aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing. If you do have a team, I have a lot of complaints actually from VAs who say, like, my team aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing, and I need to go back to doing it myself because they don't do it the way I want them to do it and things like that. So that's another common issue. Number 5, you aren't able to secure clients even though you're getting prospects. This is another interesting one that people come to me and say, like, I'm getting the leads, I'm doing the marketing, it's not like I'm not, but when I get these leads and I can't seem to secure the client or take the business right to the end. Number 6 is you're spending too much time on non-income generating activities. I call these things like too much admin and not enough you know, kind of working on the business development, the business growth, working on new packages, new ways to make money, maybe some passive income, that type of thing. All these things are really sort of conducive to a growing business, but a lot of times the VAs are finding that they're doing a lot more admin-y stuff that's not billable than they are actually generating the income. And number 7, I've put in there that you never have any time and always feel tired or physically burnt out, which is again another common issue. A lot of people say it's a little bit ironic because most VAs are sitting down all day, but it can be actually physically exhausting sometimes, just kind of like trying to manage your life and then trying to slot the business in as well. So these are some of the issues that we're going to be looking at, and I is to identify. So when you use this technique, what you're doing is you're feeling that resistance, you've got that complaint, you've got that issue, whatever it is, and then that's your job to identify, this is a problem for me. This isn't just life, this isn't just business, this isn't just how things are. If you're feeling resistance and you're unhappy about something, there is a reason, and you need to first of all identify what the problem is. Like we've done here, we've identified 7 common issues in a VA business. So the next thing is cause. It's the C. The C is to know the cause. So once you know what the issues are, you have to face the cause of it all to resolve what's happening or change the direction that it's going. So we're going to go through these issues that we've just talked about one at a time. So the first one is your business isn't where you need it to be financially. So there are actually several causes for this. And I've just picked out the top 3 causes that I've noticed when I've been coaching people and things like that. It's really interesting. Like when you coach so many people and when you look at so many people with different backgrounds and different businesses and coming from all different levels and things like that, when someone says to you, oh, my business isn't where I want it to be financially, there's never like a one size fits all answer to say, oh, this is the reason why. It could be many things. So usually, generally, it's something around the pricing model that you're using. It's not serving you, or it's designed for a different type of virtual assistant. It could also be your beliefs around money. You know, if you have if you have a poor relationship to money, then that can cause a lot of problems in the business. You know, even in the beginning, I was making loads of money, but I never even seemed to have any money, and that was because of my beliefs around money. It wasn't because, you know, even a business can be making a lot of money, but if your beliefs around money are not in alignment with abundance, then, you know, you can equally lose that money just as fast as you make it. And it's also sometimes the beliefs about yourself, about whether you feel like you deserve to have a financially viable business. So these are a few things. So now we're looking at the causes, which is the C part of ICE. So now you can kind of get an idea of, okay, we'll brainstorm, like if you've got a problem, what could potentially be causing this? You know, is it a practical reason? Is it a belief reason? Is it something to do with something that's done with me or for me or whatever? The next one is you're mentally exhausted from trying to develop your business. So this is again another common one, particularly with the uphill climb that people tend to go through. So it could be that you're starting to feel a bit of resistance to the business. Loads of people go in full on like, oh, this is great, this is going to change my life, I'm going to be a virtual assistant, I'm going to work for myself, I'm going to have my own business, I won't have to answer to anyone, you know. And then it's sort of reality hits, and they realize that there's a lot of work involved and they've got to go through a learning curve and things like that. And then they start to feel the resistance to the business, and that can cause mental exhaustion. It could also be that this is not your true calling, that you should be doing something else. And again, so many people sometimes like commit to it and say, well, I've decided to be a virtual assistant and I've told everyone and that's what I'm doing. But if it's not your true calling, if it's not what's meant for you, then that can also leave you very mentally exhausted trying to build that business, because you're not in the flow, which is the third reason. If you're not in the flow, if you're not feeling it, like if you're not getting ideas, if you're not getting boosts of energy, if you're not like feeling like, oh, I want to sit up and do that right now, or I've got, you know, the baby's asleep and I've got half an hour and I could work on my business. if you're sitting there and you're like, oh, my baby's asleep for half an hour, suppose I should work on my business, that's not where you need to be. So these things can all cause mental exhaustion, but we often blame it on other things. Oh, I'm procrastinating, or oh, I'm just tired. No, it's like there's a reason behind it. When you're in flow and when you're doing something that's really designed for you, there should really never be any mental exhaustion. You can feel physically tired, like, oh my God, I've been working so much, I need to sleep. But the mental exhaustion of just like, I don't even want to look at this anymore. It can really get to you in the end. Then there's your team. On the second, we missed one. Yeah. So your clients are treating you like crap. I let my clients treat me like crap. And notice I say let them, because I was allowing them to do that. I literally allowed, in the very early days, not now, but in the very early days, I would allow people to talk down to me, to dictate to me what I was doing, to dictate to me even sometimes when I was going to do it. And I thought that was really like an employee kind of mindset that I was having at the time, because I was thinking, well, you're the one paying me, so therefore I have to do anything that you want to do. And it's a really bad mindset that just attracts crap. So basically, it's you allow that for some reason. If your clients are treating you like crap, really it's because you're allowing it. It could be another reason that you don't have enough boundaries in place with your clients. Boundaries are super important in this industry, especially working online. We can get sucked into the 24 hours a day thing because you happen to be at home and you've got a computer and you can work anytime. So sometimes we get stuck in the not having enough boundaries between, when you work or what's acceptable to you from your clients. And there's also, you haven't effectively communicated your expectations or of the client, and perhaps you've not communicated expectations from your side of what they can expect from you. So clients tend to make a lot of assumptions. They honestly, a lot of them don't realize or don't even think, oh, it's the middle of the night and I'm going to message her. And, you're on the other end and you can either take it like, okay, well, I'm going to leave that message and respond tomorrow because that's my boundary. Or what a lot of people do is they'll go, oh my God, this client's messaged me in the middle of the night. And, how could they do that? And how could they be so selfish? And they're not even thinking of me. And I'm going to message them back, and then you message them back. I'll respond to you, and then what happens is you're kind of training them to just that you respond whenever they want and you'll do whatever they want. And, so it's kind of like a really sticky situation. So it could be expectations, it could be boundaries, but you're allowing the client to do that for some reason. I don't believe that they came in basically saying intentionally, like, I'm going to treat my VA like crap. Then your team aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing. So if you've got a team, it could potentially be if they're not, doing good quality work, things like that. Could be a training issue, could be a quality control issue with the team. Basically, your team guidelines might not be good enough about what it's acceptable to you, about what you want from them, communicating expectations with them. It could be your choice of support is not good enough. You've just made a wrong decision. You've done a wrong end. And like I say, these again, they're just a few issues, a few things that have come up, but a lot of people kind of like have the idea of like, oh, this person's got great testimonials, so I'm going to hire them and just get them to do this. And then they kind of like give them a task and they come back disappointed. And oftentimes it's just like not communicating how you want things done or training them adequately on the steps that they need to take and things like that. Then there's you aren't able to secure clients. So even though you're getting prospects, nobody's going to the end, no one's following through. You might get to the point where they agree and say, yay, sounds fantastic, amazing, I'll get back to you. Or you might get to the point where you've even sent the invoice, but then it goes dead. So it could be that your consultation process is lacking. That's a huge one. If you can't secure the client, usually I would say 9 times out of 10, it's the consultation process. But the consultation process also gives you confidence. So if you've got a bad consultation process, that can also not give you the confidence that you need to actually see it to the end and secure the client. Could be your feelings around self-belief that are failing you. Again, it's the whole, am I good enough? Do I deserve this? If you're in a situation where you feel like you've given it your all, but you're not, you didn't quite do it, it could easily be how you feel about yourself that did that. Or your value isn't properly being communicated. This is a huge one for VAs, that they're unable to articulate the value of their service. And this is another issue, and it's a pain point for me, really. This is why I created one sourcing, because it's so easy to communicate the value of a human being, and the result that someone's going to get. So that's why we do roles and results. It's not so easy to communicate the value of a single task. And it's also not so easy to communicate the value of an hour. So the value isn't properly being communicated. This could also be something relating to the financial aspect of the business. It could be relating to, like, basically the client thinking, I don't get enough for my money, which isn't the case. So you've got to really get good at communicating value. The other one is you're spending too much time on non-income generating activities. So if this is the case, then for sure it could potentially be that your processes aren't efficient enough. I've learned this so much over the years about being able to really properly use systems. I think VAs get a lot of shiny object syndrome, where a new system or a new tool comes into the market or something that they can use, and they kind of like start it and put it together, but it's not quite right for their business, but they keep using it because everyone else is saying, oh, it's going to make everything quick and easy and things like that, but it just doesn't. So really, you've got to look back at your own processes and what you want to achieve from the business, and then try and find systems and tools that work with that. If you don't really get your business model down from the start, and how you want to work with clients and how you're going to communicate the delivery of services, that type of thing, then you're not really going to get your processes down either. So it's about really getting clear on what you want from the business. Also, your role isn't defined and supported enough. But when I say defined, your role in the business could like basically be, I do everything. And a lot of virtual assistants are in that place right now. But if you start to define your role more as different roles in the business, like the one sourcing model teaches, like you obviously have your role as the one sourcer or the CEO, and then there are other roles in your business. If you are somebody who offers membership site builds or something like that, you have to understand that the roles in your business, a membership site manager, website developer, could be a number of things, could be something to do with marketing. To get really clear on the roles, and then realize that you're fulfilling all of these roles. So maybe you potentially start to need to bring some support in to be able to hand off and delegate a few of those activities that you're doing. And if you're not in a position to be able to do that right now, start to list out the roles and start to get together an action plan of how far the business needs to grow and develop, and what role you're going to hand off first and then the next one. So it starts to shift the balance. Even just having the plan is going to help you get a lot more clearer, rather than just kind of like feel like, oh, I've got to do everything myself until something happens, until I get another client, until I get more money, no, start planning it out right now, like it's already happening, like you've already got the money to do it. How does it look when you define all these roles, and then you decide, okay, well, who do I need to get in first, and then start planning it step by step, and you'll find that opportunities, things start to shift into place, and you'll be able to start working towards that plan. But without planning it, it's never going to happen. And there's also, you need to shift out of the employee mindset, a big one. Employee mindset is very much, I've got to do everything myself. And when you're in that mindset, you will literally end up continuously doing everything yourself. So next one is, you never have any time and always feel tired or physically burnt out. So again, there could be a number of reasons for this. It's really so individual. This is probably the most individual one, because we can all be physically burnt out, feeling tired, feeling like we don't have any time. You know, some of us have 4 kids, run 3 businesses. I've got 3 businesses now. You know, I've got a lot going on in my life, and sometimes I don't feel like I have any time some days. But there are also single people with no kids and not even any pets. I've got like 5 pets as well. I don't know why I do that to myself. But there are people in all these different situations and scenarios, and we can all be in the situation or where we don't have any time. I often find it's really interesting how people say, oh, I never have any time. And I'm like, well, you're single and you've got no kids, and this is amazing. Like, you know, you must have all the time in the world, but everyone's different. So it could be that you're too focused on time and not enough on priorities. So again, this is like bogging ourselves down with the hourly rate thing. I know it works for some VAs. It's fantastic. Without the hourly rate, I would not be able to have built my team and taken on so many supporters. I'm not dissing the hourly rate at all here, but when we are too focused on the hourly rate and not on the big picture, it makes it difficult sometimes to build a business. And then we get too bogged down into how many hours are in a day. There's only 24 by the time I've slept and by the time I've done this, you know, and that type of thing. Instead, if you start focusing every day on your priorities, make a list of all your priorities, the top 3 things that must be done that day, everything else, do it if you've got some time, do it if you can. Also, prioritizing yourself is really important as well. So we'll just jump to the third one, which is you want taking care of yourself, which again goes back to feelings of worthiness. If you do not really properly take care of yourself, and again, I'm not perfect. I'm one of those people too. If you know, skip over things in life which are essential to your well-being and health and development, then often that comes down to worthiness, because particularly as a mum, we're always putting other people first. We're putting the husbands and the kids and the pets and the school and, you know, like friends, things like that, and then there's like nothing left for us in the end. And then that again, it's like we should be our priority because we're the one that makes all this stuff function. And then there's also, you have limiting beliefs or conditioning around time. I know a lot of people do this classic one, like telling themselves and affirming to themselves, I just don't have any time. I don't have any time for that. How many times a day do we say I don't have time for that? Or, you know, it's just like, it's constantly affirming all the time, constantly, I don't have time, I don't have time. And when you do so much affirmation, it's like the universe, and it's really is true. It's like the universe feels like, oh, she doesn't want any time, so let's just pile a bunch of stuff on and not give her any time, because she keeps saying that's what she wants. I never have any time, I never have any time. So this is just like, you do it to yourself. Sorry, you kind of do. Because I will say, yes, I've got 4 kids. Yes, I've got little babies, 6 months old. I've got all kinds of teenage problems right now. You know, I've got a husband, I've got pets, I've got friends. I'm building a couple of other businesses alongside Virtual Miss Friday, but I have time. I still have time. And I will say this as well, time often equates to energy, how much energy you have. It's like the more energy you have, the more time you have, because everything feels like it's getting done a lot quicker. So if I have a lot of energy, like I can spend sometimes, like once the baby's gone to sleep, it could be like 10:30 at night. As long as I've got energy, as long as I feel good, I can easily work till 2 o'clock in the morning. Not suggesting that you do that, but that's sometimes what I need to do in my lifestyle. But a lot of people will say, oh my God, like you work until 2 o'clock in the morning, then you're up at 7 or whatever and things like that. But for me, I think to myself, yeah, but maybe I can catch up with a nap, or maybe I can do something else. So I just had the energy at that time to do that, you know, and I don't force myself to do it. Sometimes I just literally get ideas and I want to start writing, or I want to start doing something on the design work. So for me, it's like I have priorities and then I go with the flow of where my energy is going at that time. I'll work on that now, or I'll do that now, and just everything seems to connect. And that has a lot to do, again, with me not constantly affirming that I don't have any time. I always say, like, I've got time, you know, I'll always have time, it's fine. I'll always have the energy. It's a lot of it is self-talk, I will say that. So we're on to E of ICE, which is execute. So identify, and now we're on to execute. So the E is to execute a plan. Once you know the cause, which is the C, then you can begin to form a plan of the actions you're going to take. So you can begin executing the plan and making the changes to shift the outcome and results. Like I say, we just sort of touched on planning a little bit in one of the previous slides when I talked about the roles and you're doing too much admin time, and it's about really making a plan to move yourself out of that and not waiting. Like, don't wait and say, oh, I'll make a plan when I've got more money, when I've got more time, when I've got more whatever it is. Just think about the ideal solution and just make that plan straight away, whether you can do it today or not, whether you can implement it right now or not. The plan is the intention, and once you've got the intention, it's after that things start to shift, not before. So when we're not making the plan, we're not setting the intention, and we're just going to be stuck, basically. So what kind of solutions are there to execute? Well, it might be a practical solution that you need to execute. It could be something like, oh, I need to get a babysitter for this, or I need to get help with the kids, or I need to get a dog walker, or I need to do this, or whatever it is. It could be a practical solution that could resolve it. And once you know that practical solution, you can start planning and implementing steps to make that happen. It might be a strategy thing. A lot of the times it's just a tweak or a shift in the strategy of how you're doing things, whether that's a life strategy, business strategy, anything like that, client strategy. It could just be you haven't picked up enough little tips and techniques to be able to kind of troubleshoot these different areas, or make that a little bit more efficient, or make that a little bit quicker. It could be challenges. You need to challenge yourself more. You need to challenge yourself more to accomplish something. When you don't challenge yourself and you kind of like, oh, that would be nice whenever I get to it, you know, it's like, then it's not going to shift anything or change anything. So I love challenges, challenge myself a lot. It could be a mental solution or a mindset solution. Again, you know, if you need to talk through something with someone, sometimes the simple act of talking through it will fix the problem, will help you mentally work through it, and then you'll figure out the solution of what to do. It could be a shift that you need to make in your beliefs, like, is my mindset really serving me? Are the beliefs I have about myself really serving me? Are the beliefs I have about money or business or my clients really serving me? If not, then you need to do a mindset shift. And it could simply be a lack of knowledge, which is causing the issue. And then you need to go and research, find some knowledge, ask some people. And it could be just lack of experience. And then you need to actually start taking some action and doing something to gain the experience. So again, these are the types or kinds of solutions that could be available to you once you understand the cause of the problem that you have. So I will help as many people as I can on the call today. If you have any problems, if you want to share with me at the end of this call some of your struggles in any of these areas we've discussed today or beyond, I'll do the best I can at the end of the Q&A session. But first of all, ideally, if you want me to support you and help you with this, I've got a really good, I don't know what we call it, sixth sense, third eye, whatever it is. When someone comes to me with a problem or an issue or something like that, it's really, again, I guess, like a sort of intuitive sense about what caused that or what's behind it. Sometimes I need to talk to people a few times to be able to really understand them. It's not something that comes to me so fast. I need to understand their life, things like that. So calls are the best way to do that. One-on-one focus calls with me, and then I can start listening a bit more, listening to your problem, what the issue is, and then trying to work together on it. So the first thing is to get 3 calls together. An identifying call, this is where we can discuss the real issue in your business, your disappointments, the struggles, your frustrations, the things that aren't going well. The second call is a cause call. So this is when we need to discuss the reasons of why this is potentially happening to you, as sometimes we have to unravel backwards in order to go forwards. And I will say, on the identifying call, a lot of people will share like 1 issue or 2 issues, and they actually have 6, 7, 8, but they're sort of brushing the other ones under the carpet, like they're not connected. Everything is connected. So don't ever think that an issue in your relationship is unrelated to an issue in your business, or an issue that you have with your kids is unrelated to an issue that you have with yourself or your friends, or that everything is connected. All the issues in your life are connected, not necessarily directly, but certainly as a co-creation of your world, your universe, which you have created for yourself. So we need to look at all the issues, and then we need to look at all the potential causes of those. And sometimes we often find connections. And then there's an execution call where we're going to discuss the solutions, what's required to make a change, shift out of a habit, or create a better outcome for you, basically. So basically we can also work together. So for those of you who haven't seen, I've been offering one sourcing for half price. So normally it's $2,000, but you're going to be able to save $1,000 right now. The close is on the 1st of December. So if you're interested in one sourcing, if you're interested in using my model, we're doing a discount right now. And if you pay in full, you get those 3 ICE calls with me, ICE calls with me. So I can identify, diagnose the cause, what's holding you back, and provide a potential solution or solutions in my training as to how to execute the remedy for those issues, so they become a thing of the past. So I do a lot of mindset training, I do coaching, do a lot of practical training. It's all, like I say, it's all connected. But sometimes we have to kind of diagnose the issue, and then the prescription that I do for people is often very different depending on who you are. But there's also more. Even if you don't decide to go with the one-time payment and you decide to go with the 24 payment plan, in both cases, I will also give you Seriously Successful Business, which is the series of seriously successful services, products, and marketing, which are kind of like fast track programs to help you move forward quickly with either setting up a service business, a product business, or the marketing side of things. So this special offer is available at go.virtualmissfriday.com/ICE, go.virtualmissfriday.com/ICE. So you're going to get basically all of my training, everything that I could possibly wish for you to have on the digital side of the training as well. And those 3 calls if you pay in full, but you'll also get the SSS series if you just want to go for the monthly plan. So just before we switch off the presentation, the purchase link that we've just gone through, go.virtualmissfriday.com/ICE, 50% off at the moment. 3 free ICE coaching calls. I'm going to say the value of that is pretty priceless. Is if you can resolve even one or some of those problems that you have, and then that shifts you into a new thinking, a new place in your life, then I think that's pretty priceless. But my Seriously Successful Online Business series is a value of $397, and you also get lifetime support. This is not like a thing where I disappear. You'll always have access to the calls. You'll always have access to the updates. I'm always really committed to creating new things for you guys as times move and things evolve and stuff like that. Hopefully you've seen that over the years from me if you've been following for a while. Or you can purchase on the link and start from just 55 quid on the 24 payment plan, which is 50% off. You get Seriously Successful Online Business and you get the lifetime support. So it's go.virtualmissfriday.com/ICE. Thank you. And let's do some Q&A. So this will be cool. I'm going to stop screen sharing now. Go away, presentation. Okay. Hi, guys. So that was cool. Thank you so much for listening. Megan has to run. She's got a consult. Oh, I think I know who that is. Alison has another call coming in. Cool. So thank you so much for joining. Does anybody, oh, Tanya said that was a useful presentation. Thank you so much. Does anybody have anything that they want to talk about or want to discuss, or anything that they have identified while I was going through that presentation? Anything that you have identified that you potentially might need some help with, or I can support you with right now, just as we go into the end of this call? I'm here. I'm happy to help. I know people are sometimes a little bit iffy with doing it in public, which is fine. That's why I offer the one-on-one calls, because I know people feel a lot more open to be able to discuss things one-on-one as well. Also, if anybody has, this is our normal Q&A session as well. So if anybody has any other questions or anything relating to the training, then I'd be happy to help. So Ashima says, what's included in the program? So in the one sourcing program, it's pretty much my life's entire work that's gone into this. If we ask what's included, 16 years of blood, sweat and tears is the first thing. The next is a lot of my other programs. So I'll just screen share again quickly and show you what's inside. Where are we? There we are. Okay, so right now this is the full price. You've got the special payment link, which is on the Go link. But basically there is the One Sourcing Initiate, which is the free members area. You get that when you sign up if you're not already a member, and also our one sourcing calls every month. Then you get my 12-part one sourcing strategy, which is included, which is basically my 0 to 6 figure strategy for taking a business from 0 to 6 figures. I've said 12 months because I suggest people do it over the course of a year to kind of pace it out. Some people are working full-time, some people are working part-time, so results do vary, but you should easily be able to do it in 12 months in terms of being able to set everything up to do that. Then there is the freelancer, which is my foundation course. This is really just like the basics of basics for getting started as a VA, everything that you need to set up, everything you need to have, how to do your copy, that type of thing. Then there is the one sourcing program. So you've got the one sourcing supporter, which is my team member course. So that's all about becoming a team member, working on another team. It's also about working with clients too. So we inject sort of a bit of both into that, but it's more about if you're not feeling totally entrepreneurial and ready to just like, you know, go for it, you can go in with the supporter and start there and kind of work your way through. Then there's the One Sourcing Entrepreneur, which is my business development program. That's when you're at a level where you want to start introducing a potential team, or at least you want to start setting your business up to be able to start scaling. So I show you how to do that in there. And that's where we go through a lot of like systems, processes, tools, you know, all the kind of things that you need to scale up the business. Then there's the One Sourcing Consultant, obviously for the consulting strategy. So again, you know, I mentioned this in the presentation that consulting is really important, not just, you know, like for securing clients, but for yourself, for your confidence. When you've got a really good consulting strategy, you feel really good about the business and you feel really confident about securing clients. It makes immeasurable difference to how you communicate, how you present yourself, how you come across to the client, that type of thing. Then there's the One Sourcing Business program involved. This is like hundreds of videos, by the way, video training, templates, all that jazz. So that's about the One Sourcing Business is about digital products, sales. It goes through the launch process if you want to work specifically with digital business owners like I do. And a lot of that is what I tend to do for people in there. And then there's a suite of Skillogy workshops, and I really love the Skillogy workshops. Now, some of my favorite things, because I've really given you like a step-by-step strategy on how to package, price your service, use the roles, but also how to deliver the service, which is, again, it focuses back on the time aspect of how you're actually working with the client. There's got to be a strategy with how you work with the client. A lot of people think, oh, well, you know, he'll email me tasks and then I'll do them and I'll send them back and things like that. No, don't do that. That's real rookie mistake. So just have a strategy behind what you do. So we have 1-step start documents in there, which about how laying everything out for the client. This is everything that I need from you before I'll even start doing anything, before I get my keyboard out. I need you to do these things first. And then we go through the process of processing the work, revisions, deliverables, that type of thing. Really amazing for expectation management, Skillogy workshops. And that's pretty much everything inside there. And then obviously on the one sourcing page as well, you can see information about the business model and how it works. There's also the brand kit, but there is a brand license fee. So that's all white label stuff that you can use on your website for one sourcing, use the one sourcing brand sort of more officially. And that's everything. Oh, and the essential resources are included as well, which is again, like loads and loads of videos, video classes I've done over the years and things like that. So a lot goes into it. I'll just leave that there. Huge amount. Hopefully that answered your question, Ashioma. But if you need more help, just let me know. Hannah says, I love the idea of planning ahead for things and identifying what I'm aiming at before I even had the resources to put them in place. Yes, so many people don't do that. And it's really, I think it's doing yourself a massive disservice. If you've got something in your head, like for me, for example, like it might be like, oh, I want to buy a house somewhere, I want to buy a car, or I want to do this, or I want to, you know, have this focus in my life. And if I think to myself at that point, oh, well, I can't do that now, it's like, then you don't just sit there and not do anything. You start putting steps in place of, like, you know, reverse engineering it. Okay, so imagine I had this house, imagine I had this car, imagine I had all these different things. What are the steps I would have taken to get there? I'm a big believer as well, you know, just as a financial tip here, if you're somebody struggling with money in your business, you know, a lot of people, I do tend to say, okay, well, focus on the first client, focus on getting the first client, but reverse engineer your income strategy. You know, when I'm putting together packages and pricing and things like that, oftentimes I think to myself, okay, well, how much money do I want to earn in a year? So how much is that in a month? So how many packages do I need to sell at that price to be able to achieve that? And then I start getting myself into targets. So I need to secure 2 clients next month. And then the following month, I need to secure 3 clients. And, you know, it works like that. You know, what do I need to sell? Who do I need to pitch to? How much, what's the cost of things going to be? That type of thing. So I kind of lay it all out and I plan it before I even have any idea really of how it's going to come together. And I do shift and change the plan sometimes as I'm going along. Certain things come my way and certain things sometimes don't work out the way I wanted it to. It's not like you suddenly plan this all out and everything goes smoothly step by step, but oftentimes when it doesn't, other things come into play. And there are, you know, it's like the universe sometimes has a bit of a grander plan for you, and sometimes you have to go with the flow and know, okay, well, that didn't work out for a good reason, or there is a reason why I didn't end up going there and doing that and things like that, or there was a reason why that client didn't come through when I was expecting it to. And be sure that, you know, the reason will unfold, but sometimes we look back a year later and then say, oh, that's why, you know, and sometimes a little bit of a delay. So Tanya said, thanks, gotta go. Definitely keep in touch. Thank you so much, Tanya. Nice to see you. Ashioma, you just sent me a private direct message and the answer is yes. If you email support@veteranmissfriday.com, I'd be happy to help you with that there. Awesome. So we've just got a few minutes left. If anybody wants to ask a question, share anything, it's been such a nice call. Thank you so much, guys, for coming. And hopefully you found that useful, and really do start to implement and use those techniques, because it's really, really important. If you don't, if a lot of people will just sit and wallow in their problems and sit and wallow in, you know, like this is an issue and just repeating the issue over and over again, but you can get yourself out of it. You can get yourself out of anything. We're equipped to do that. We're designed to do that. But oftentimes we tell ourselves we can't. And we all can. There's absolutely no doubt about it. It just depends as well how committed you are to getting yourself out. Sometimes I think I've come across people, I think, who sometimes like being the victim, or like being in that situation where they're feeling like, oh, I can't move forward, I can't do that, you know, because it's just too much hard work to get out of it, you know, which is sometimes sadly true, but that's how it is. Susie says our biz hasn't been hourly to a 6-figure biz, but wanting to move.
Sorry, that was supposed to. It has been.
Oh, it has
hourly. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
And it's doing well, but it's you know, there's a lot of work that goes into keeping track of the hours, and I've purchased one sort, like I'm totally on board with one sourcing, but not super clear on like packaging and pricing it and sharing about how it's different.
The price, yeah, totally. I get it. And it is a little bit sometimes hard to get the head around, particularly when we're in the hour mentality, and like, how could you possibly, you know, work out the profit when you don't know how much the hour is? Yeah, I totally get it. So it's about working with hours, but hours is only one component of the package. And I think it's like really important to perk out. Yes, we have to understand how long things take. We have to understand our costs. Oftentimes we're paying supporters an hourly rate, things like that. But we also have to factor in other things, management fee, contingency, all of these other things. And sometimes when you factor those things into the hourly rate, the client looks at the hourly rate and goes, oh my God, holy, you know, like, you really, it's that much per hour, because they're quantifying it with a task. But as long as you're able to factor in, like, this is the cost per hour. You really need to know the cost per hour of the staff if you're going to outsource. And then you have to start thinking about, okay, well, how much do I want to make on top of that? And then how much contingency do I need for when things go slightly over, you know, slightly under, that type of thing. And once you factor all the things in, then you will be able to get your package price, and then you will be able to start to work more towards the budget management idea of things. Like, we're managing a budget here, and like, not every business operates the same every single month, you know, like some months, for me anyway, like customers or clients will be doing launches where we're having to refocus attention more in a different area and stuff like that, and maybe we'll pull back on other things. And just being able to manage that budget without looking at things and going, oh God, the client wants to add something on, or the client wants to change that. And, you know, if we want to try something new, it's like, no, let's just do it in the package. Let's just make it work. And if we want to make it permanent, we can. If we have to upgrade eventually because the business is growing, we can, that type of thing. So hours are just one part of the factor. And then once you just sort of generally get a really good idea of like roughly how long things take, or how long something takes, and you factored everything in, if you do it right, you don't have to be bogged down so much with how long things take. You just have to be bogged down with like, what's a realistic deadline for this? If I feel like I can get it done by Saturday, then I will, or Friday, I'll tell someone that I can get it done by Tuesday, and then you just over deliver, and you start working to deadlines that way. I think, I think,
you go.
No, I was going to say, I think it's a really good question. And I definitely think I need to do more on this. Go and check out the infographics on the one sourcing kits, which kind of talk about, there's some frequently asked questions in there for clients. And there's also like basically how it's broken down, how to do the pricing, how the pricing model works. But I think I'll do a class on just specifically the packaging and the pricing, like just to really break it down.
And then how I, you know, share that with the client so it makes sense to them, right? Like how I explain that, what you just explained to me, explain to them, so they understand it's more than just an hourly.
Absolutely. I'm gonna now, just while we're here, I'm gonna give you the link to the place where the infographics are, and I think the FAQ infographic will really, really help. It's here on this link. So to everyone, So this is the client kit that's been put together for clients. And on there are infographics. There's 2 infographics that explain how the pricing model works, and also frequently asked questions that we get from clients and how to respond to those. So
great. Okay.
Hopefully that will help. But you know, like Susie, if you do feel like there's anything like really specific that you need help with, like, or you're just not getting, you do write into support, and then maybe I can put some training together for that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Cool.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Welcome. Thanks. Ebony says, sorry, Michelle, I have to go, but thanks for a brilliant presentation. You're welcome. I really enjoyed it. Thank you for coming, guys. So we're at the top of the hour. I think we've made it through. Remember, it's go.virtualmissfriday.com/ice if you want to get the discount right now on one sourcing. Would love to work with you. Would love to have you on board. It's a really super business model that I totally believe in. And I just know I know it's a really good model for virtual assistants if they want to really scale up the business and make it work. So thank you so much. Guys, I will see you on the next call. It's been lovely. I've got a really exciting call next month. It's something to do with one of my other businesses. So it's almost like a brand new business opportunity for virtual assistants too, which I'm super stoked about. Ashima says, can you put the link up? Yeah, 1 second. I'll just put this link up. go.virtualmissfriday.com/ice. And there we go. That didn't link. Hold on a second. There we go. Hopefully that works. Yes. Okay, perfect. So that's got the discount on it. You're welcome, guys. Thank you so much. It's been great. Love you lots. See you next month. New things, new opportunities. Stay on the mailing list. Watch this space. Ashima, I hope to talk to you very, very soon. Be awesome. Take care, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.